check, 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need, get over the fear, and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello everybody, Michael Quarles with the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. I've got to say, it's kind of weird sometimes to say my name and then say my name twice, so I guess I feel like saying my name. Anyway, we are doing podcast episode 270. Gosh, between the 270 of these and the 90 of the others and the 20 of the others, man, I have done almost 400 podcasts. That is so friggin' awesome. I love them. It's 5 questions sent in by you guys and gals, and I'm going to try my best to answer it, so here we go. I am getting to the point where I had to hire others to handle aspects of my flipping business. Problem is, I'm used to doing everything myself, and I find myself worrying about the quality of work these people are performing since I'm not there to supervise. When you first started hiring people, did you find it hard to let go and trust that things are getting done right? Yes, I did. It was the hardest thing and best thing I ever did is fire myself. Here's the problem with not firing yourself. You become an indentured servant. Your business relies upon you. You have to work to be fed, to be clothed, and I don't want to do that. What I did was I created systems, which is what our coaching program's all about. I wanted to create systems that I can put a normal person in. And here's the key. A normal person, not an extraordinary person. See, we're extraordinary. We all are extraordinary. Anybody listening to this podcast is an extraordinary individual because you have the entrepreneurial spirit. You want to be more. And that's not our candidate. Our candidate is the person that wants the job. Doesn't want more, just wants the job. And if you create systems for that person, yes, you'll have to worry, are they doing their job? But if the system's correct, the system will monitor that for you. And yes, it's okay to lower your expectations of what you yourself could do and now allowing somebody else to do on your behalf. That's fine. Just have a check and balance system. Here's an example of a check and balance system. Someone brings you a house that's under contract. Oh, we got one. I want you to have 3 people assigned in your office to do a CMA on that property, and any of those 3 people can kill that contract. With that check and balance system, that'll help you set yourself free. And it's responsible to your business to upfront know if a mistake was made. And so 3 different people do a CMA, which is kind of cool because now you're training people how to do a CMA. Get a price opinion. Don't have them get together and get it. I want them to individually to get it and give it to you. Go, Mary said it's this. Johnny said it was that. Joey said it was this. Yeah, hey, those are little systems and you need check and balance system. The other thing you want to do is cross-train. So no one should know more than their position at 100% and somebody else's position at 1/3. So they won't know somebody else's 100%. But if let's assume for a second you had 4 people. Well, then you have enough people that every position someone knows, this group of people know everything about that position. So when that position leaves, retires, goes on vacation, gets sick, whatever, it's not the end of the day. You don't have to throw yourself back in the business. So it's real simple. But we do that. We cover this a lot in the coaching program. Question number 2. I have been in contact with a seller of 3 quad-plexes. I call them 4-plexes. And there seems to be a very high motivation to sell. However, when I requested the current rental agreements for the occupied units, the seller became defensive and is basically refusing to supply me with them. Seems like this is a pretty big red flag. Is it big enough that I should consider it a deal breaker? Well, I like to get a pro forma on it, and we're going to get estoppel notices from the tenants on it. So let's get it under contract. Let's request the pro forma, and let's get the estoppels from the tenants, and that's going to help you a lot. The estoppel notice from the tenant is going to tell you what the tenant's paying. These are things that the tenant's going to give you. So you're communicating with the tenant in this case. And they're going to tell you what they're paying, how much they've been paying, how long their term is, what pieces of personal property in the property is theirs that could be real property, kind of thing like drapes or appliances, that kind of stuff. Yeah, just get that. It is a red flag, but don't scare away someone who doesn't understand that it's realistic to get you that stuff. Let's help them help you. All right? That's all it is. the end of the day. Now, if they don't want to give you estoppel notices in the pro forma, no, kick it. Go to the next one.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Question number 3. What do you tell a seller when they ask you how you got their info? Well, that's a great question. What we do is, I'm going to back up. I'm going to say that's a great question. Your property, and I congratulate you, your property qualified as a property I'd be interested in. It means you've done something right in your life. That's commendable. Appreciate that. And what we did is we looked up your information in public record to figure out how to contact you and sent you a list to see if you had any interest in selling your house. Did you have a house you were hoping to sell and fall forward? Because that's the truth. Question number 4. A seller is attempting to do a short sale as they owe more on the property than the property is worth. However, the sellers are up to date on their payments and not in default. For sake of argument, let's just say the house is worth $120 and they owe $150. Now, if the bank won't give them a short sale because they're not in default, could I take over the payments and purchase a house for $150? They owe me. For the $150 they owe, I would essentially be overpaying by $30,000 in the long run, but I would also be purchasing the house with no money down. The sellers are forgiven of their debt and off the hook on their mortgage, and the bank gets the money that they lent out, and I get house for $0. Huh? What? Okay, hang on. I got to reread. Now, if the bank won't give them a short because they are not in default, could I take the property or take the payments and purchase the house for $150 they owe? I would essentially be overpaying by $30,000 in the long run, but I would also be purchasing the house with no money down. The sellers are forgiven of their debt and off the hook for their house, and the bank gets the money that they lent out, and I buy. No, it doesn't work that way. The sellers are not going to be forgiven of their debt because if just because you buy the house doesn't mean the debt's forgiven. No. And once you own the property, most likely the lender's just going to accelerate the deal on sell clause because they would have done the short. All you got to do is, I know how to make a house in defaulted. I know how to do that. So if the seller is in the state where they need to, that's the best interest, for them, that's the vehicle for them, then yeah, we can cause the seller to want to participate. The bank to want to play with us and participate with us. But if it's not in the interest of the seller to default on the loan because of their credit, they don't want to damage that. Yeah, it's not a deal. Throw it away. The only time this would possibly be a deal, let's assume for a second it's worth $150, they owe $120, they're upside down $30, and at $120, you got to be buying at $84. So your maximum purchase is $84. So if I take $84 from $150, what do I have? $66,000? They got to come to the table with $66,000, and I'll let them make payments on it if they want. So I'll take the house. I want to make sure that they give me a pretty good chunk down. I'll take the house and let them make payments on it. If they stop paying it, I just stop paying the mortgage, and then they screw up their credit that they don't want to screw up. But no, you can do something like that. It's hard. Why would we want to? We just go buy another house. So several ways to do it. I'd go work on something that was real, actually. It's not real. It's like, if I could breathe on Mars, could I live there? I don't know. Well, I'm not a Martian. I'm not going to go to Mars. No reason to talk about it. I just like talking about real things. Question number 5. When looking at a deal that is offering seller financing, is it better to offer the terms I want first or ask the seller what kind of terms they want and then countermine? You stay in control, and it's all based upon what they've been collecting probably as a rental. So if I can continue to pay you that on a monthly payment minus taxes and insurance that you were paying and the maintenance, then you could see yourself financing that for me. So there's your status on how much you're going to give them. That's it. And would you like that money for how many years kind of thing? Can we amortize that over 30 years or is that a straight payment? And You're setting the terms up. You're not asking them what do they want. Most people don't know what they're doing. So, just do a straight pay. Just say, hey, man, if the net payment to them is $500 a month and they're doing seller financing on a $50,000 deal, 500 into 50,000, how many months you got? That's how long the term is. And don't put an interest rate to it. If they say, I want an interest rate, put it 2%. They're not going to say more. I can justify 2% because it's more than Bank of America would pay them for their $50,000 in the first place. You can get all the way up to 5% and have a good day, but I don't want to go 5% unless I have to. So I'm going to start out straight pay. Then I'll go to 2%, fall forward. We're going to pay them off as fast as possible anyway when we fix it and flip it or hotel it or whatever we're going to do to it. We're not going to keep it as a rental most likely unless it's just a really good deal. So yeah, the seller's going to get paid back fast. So, do straight pay, but on your terms. You're the one that's in control. You're the leader, they're the follower. That's how it works. Great questions. Really super duper questions. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.